guys. Oh, my face is shiny. Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's time for Peaches and Dream. So we're waiting for Peaches to come on. I hope you guys are doing good so far. Let me just summarize what we're going to be talking about today because we got a lot going on. I hope y'all staying safe out there. Yes, I hope y'all staying safe out there. I hope y'all peacefully protesting. But we got a lot that we're going to be talking about today. Well, let me go through the list right quick, being that I'm waiting. So yeah, she's about to join. So today we're going to touch base on, of course, George Floyd. So rest in peace to him. We're going to be talking about the riots, because the riots like literally went worldwide. And then aside from the riots, we're also, let me approve the request. Aside from the riots, we're also going to be talking about Aiyana Dior and the LGBTQ community, and then celebrity birthdays, and then Carol Basket. Hey, Peaches! I was just, giving them the rundown of everything we're going to be talking about today. So that way, that's on the beginning of the video. What's up? What's up? Oh, look at that hair! You done got your hair retwisted.
Yes, finally.
I'm tender-headed, so I don't get my hair twisted that often. I be wishing I could just leave my scalp at the salon and then come back, go get it later.
Why not?
I'm so tender-headed. You don't understand. Like, I'll wash my hair, but I don't like getting it done because that thing be hurting. That's why I only do my hair. Like, if you ever pay attention to me, if I go on vacation, I'm going through the pain when I'm on vacation. But if I ain't going nowhere, I'm not wasting my time. And then you know how I work out too. So, well, I haven't been working out like that. But when you work out a lot, it really don't make sense to keep your hair done. It don't make sense at all.
Well, I am going on vacation, but I miss my life. Bitch, how about this bitch gonna caress my forehead and ask me, did you miss me? Did you miss me?
The hair salon lady.
I'm like, man, what the fuck? Get off of me.
Now, they're happy to be back in business,
Yes. Yeah,
they
I
are
think that's
happy.
Because I was like, what the freaky shit is this bitch into?
So,
asked me, did you miss me? I was like, what?
She was like, you ain't even paying attention.
Did you miss me?
Would you put on earrings? You always doing the most. But you said she massaged your scalp.
Huh?
Like, I want to see how she massaged your scalp. Like, she was like this. She was like,
she was retwisting the top of my head, and she goes,
I'm like, yo, I'll be visualizing stuff. I'm like, I don't like people touching me. Like, only person who could touch me is my kids and my husband. Other than that, don't touch me. Don't
she
touch
did
me.
that shit out of the fucking blue.
But yeah, girl.
Are you drinking just regular water?
Me, I'm having wine.
Oh, me too. I'm having the same thing I had last night.
This is the last of the wine too, so I gotta re-up. Do you know I did a Walmart grocery pickup. They canceled my grocery pickup.
Why?
Because I don't know. Basically, honestly, I don't even know. Because even when the virus was going crazy, they was delayed, but they sent the email saying they canceled it and they couldn't fulfill the order and they sorry and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, now I got to go out there and risk my whole life to go grocery shopping in the store full of people.
Which store was it?
Walmart. Oh, the Calibridge Court. My bad. That one.
And that's the nice one. What the fuck?
Exactly. And it's crazy because my mom also had a grocery pickup, but she said the same thing happened with her. They sent her email telling us they canceled the order. But once we start talking about the events that's been taking place since lately, it's going to all start to make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually going to be interviewing you since you was like on scene with all the action. So you want hey Jay,
bitch,
hey Jay. No, you was on scene for real. I was like, bro, I don't know how you like. I don't know. I would have. I don't know. I couldn't work where you worked at.
They was right in front of my
I
damn
couldn't.
job. Like they ain't had nowhere else to fucking be.
That was the thing. And then, like, were you smelling any of the smoke? Because I literally saw
It was seeping
them.
into my
They
job.
bombed people. Like, they trapped them in, and they. I
Yeah.
saw a video. It was crazy. They trapped them in.
Where they ducked into the parking deck.
Yeah, so basically it's like the police blocked them off with their bikes and stuff on one end, and then the other end it was another set of police. And after they had them blocked in on both sides to where they couldn't go anywhere, they started shooting gas. And it's on video. This girl was actually live. Then they tried to say that they had to do that because there was looters. There was no looting. There was a
No,
peaceful
it was a
protest
peaceful
in Charlotte.
protest. Because I follow Charlotte Shooters on Instagram, and he was live during that. But that was down the not. Ooh, I'm not even gonna say it was down the street, but it
Hold on, I'm about to
was.
tell you. Hold up. Did you hear them, right?
Yeah.
Wait, get out!
Go downstairs,
They
please.
push me.
Go downstairs, please.
Mommy, push me.
The life we have.
Mommy, push me.
That's between you and Veronique. Veronique, go on the room with your mama. Huh? I don't want to. Go ahead, my bad.
So that video where they ducked in, I'm gonna see if I can insert it. The video where they ducked in up under the parking garage. It's my job. The building that separates us at the on the block, and then they're on this side of the building, so they're still close by. So what the cops did was, they,
Oh, I was trying to find the video.
so what the
Go ahead.
cops did was they pushed them down the street and then closed them in and boxed them in and then threw that shit at them.
I know. I want to find that video so bad. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I want to show people like this is crazy. Like, but it's crazy because the guy is explaining what's going to happen before it even happens.
Yeah, that's on the other side. Yeah.
And it's like when they run that way, they start shooting bombs from the other way. Mind you, there was no looters. These are all peaceful protesters.
Yeah, nobody was even looting. There's nothing to loot up there.
That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. I'm like, why would y'all do that to people that's like, that's not even out there? Like, you know, that stuff like that is what makes people want to start looting.
Because what I've noticed is the cops didn't want the people up there, period. And they didn't want them looting. But all the businesses in Uptown Charlotte looks deserted. All the businesses are boarded up right now. It's wood on all of the doors. It just looks so deserted. So I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
why they were looting in the first place if they can't touch any businesses.
Okay, but the thing about it is that, oh yeah, you're right. But you know what's crazy? Like, I don't know. I'm hearing that, you know how they said Rolex was broken into and they stole like a few $1 million worth of Rolex watches or whatever the case was.
Hell
Rolex
yeah.
actually said
Hell
that they
yeah.
don't even keep Rolexes in their stores. They don't even keep watches in their stores. So
What?
exactly. So they're saying, how is the news reporting that, you know, $2 million worth of watches was stolen when Rolex released a report that said that they don't even leave jewelry in the stores when the stores are not open. So I don't believe anything that I'm seeing. But you know how you were saying how a lot of the stores are boarded up, right?
Uh-huh.
They've been closing. So that with the Walmart thing that I was talking about earlier, we think it's because of that. They've been closing stores at 5 p.m. and then they board them up and they close the stores off. So That's probably why, like, you know, a lot of the Walmart grocery pickup orders is being canceled because a lot of people is trying to, you know, close already and quote unquote protect their businesses. But
That's what Salon Central, because you know, I went to the Salon Central on Freedom, and the
mhm,
City Trends next to Salon Central, that's all boarded up. But they have it to where the doors can open and they can open the store. But it's gonna be, you know, just the windows are boarded up. So that's what they did. So they can still open
mm.
up their business. Oh yeah, girl.
Girl, I don't really go nowhere, so I don't even be knowing what's going on there. And I don't watch the news, so a lot of the stuff comes from stuff that I actually went on Google and well, stuff that I probably saw on Facebook, and then I went on Google to confirm the facts. That's the only news that I be having for you. But
But
girl,
but as far as me, so they were out in front of my fucking job. They've been out in front of
child.
my job since this past weekend. They always make their way in front of my fucking job. So on the weekends, I get off at 11.
Mhm.
So what I was first capturing was the day protests. I had no idea that it was getting so crazy at night right in front of my fucking job. So
So when you say at 11, you're talking about you get up at 11 a.m. or p.m.?
PM when
Okay.
shit is popping off.
But I
So
thought they don't they have so were they respecting the curfew or not? They probably
yep,
weren't,
we don't
right?
have a curfew. We
We
don't
don't
have
have a curfew. Okay.
a
Because I know a lot of my New Yorkers, they was talking about a curfew, but then again, like they got text messages on their phone. You know how when you live in an area and they send out, but yeah, they actually got text messages. We didn't get no messages, and somebody was asking me if we had a curfew, and I didn't know what to say. But we never had a curfew, like
yeah.
an official curfew. So, okay.
We don't have a curfew. So and I know you heard from the mayor that the National Guard was supposed to be here and nobody showed up.
That's what we was talking about. Somebody, I don't know if the National Guards, they said that, you know, the National Guards, are they the ones that travel in like the big old, you know, army trucks?
The tanks, yes.
Yes, somebody posted that they seen them on 277. And then this other person, they said they saw six. And this other person was like they seen eight somewhere else in Charlotte. But I don't think they ever actually deployed them. I honestly.
Yep. We didn't see them. It was just the police and those poor firefighters that they have walking in the back of police just in case the police get injured. Now, I
Mm.
had no idea that EMTs weren't that medically trained like firefighters were. Oh, the homegirl
I
told
was
me
on the
that.
live last night. Honestly, I don't know how true that is, but she was. The thing is that this, I went to school for medical assisting, and they teach us how to do vitals, how to take blood. So I'm guessing that they can do the basics, but they're not actual
Yeah,
doctors. There's never you're never gonna see
they're
a
not.
doctor or a physician on an ambulance. They're just EMTs. They're basically trained to take vitals, to probably do phlebotomy, to you know give injections, take blood take back. I don't think they're not doctors. Trust me, they're definitely not
Exactly.
doctors.
So why are they out there dressed for combat with masks and shit on, following the cops around?
The
And I know
EMT,
firefighters already risk their lives, but don't have them out there like that. Don't do that to those people. It's bad enough that the cops are out there fucking with us, but you have firefighters out there and forcing them to watch that shit and then go home having PTSD and shit. No. What else was I gonna say? So the first night that I worked third was Monday night. That was the first crazy night that I saw that
so
I
what's third shift? What time?
11 to 7 a.m.
So 11 p.m. and they was with the shits.
They had already been out there. So I come in and I let my the cleaning lady she comes in either before I come in or after I come in. So I give her the keys to the building after I take her badge. So
Hmm.
when she walked into my building, the doors look like they might be closed, but she can still tug on them hard enough if you don't pull them up. You can tug on them hard enough and get them open.
Right.
and one of the protesters came in after her looking for water.
But but
Yeah,
but you work in a building, like a residential building or a business building?
a business building.
Mm.
So, and it was a young guy, young black guy, just we were ratchet. So I didn't know he was in there. So I was in the office, and then I walked out with my chair, and he was like, "Hey, y'all have any water in here? Like we're supposed to have water for protesters, please." And I said no, and he was like, "Well, you don't have to say it like that." And then he walked out, called me a bitch, and then walked out the double doors.
What?
Yeah, and walked out the double doors where you see me standing at. And I was like, let me make sure that these fucking doors are locked because they just walking in any fucking where. I don't know why he thought. I know why he thought because he saw her go in. Now the doors are locked, but they just weren't closed all the way. So that's
Mm.
what I ended up having to do.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, police were out there throwing shit at our doors. The smoke was coming into the glass doors of the building, so we were still getting it.
That's
It was
crazy.
it was real live Tuesday night because I got to work like an hour early. And no, still that same night, I noticed somebody getting arrested. I captured somebody getting arrested. And that's on my Instagram. They had him in zip ties, and this was
Because
back.
they ran out of handcuffs.
Yeah, well, they don't want to run out of handcuffs.
Nah,
They just put people
I'm
in zip
joking. I think that because they expect to arrest so many people, they just using zip ties because it's probably more cost effective, and they don't
ties.
give a fuck about cutting off nobody's goddamn circulation. You know, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And they had all that fanfare, all those people, all those cops to arrest one person, and they put him in the back of a CMPD van. It was just a mess, and I felt like I had to capture it to make sure, just in case anything happened to him, because I don't think cops will care that they're being recorded. They don't
They
care about the
don't. Right now, they don't, especially since the president of this country said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Like right now, they just reckless. I'm trying to find because I didn't see that part of the video. I ain't see nobody getting arrested now.
I think it might be at the
Was it
last part.
long? Oh, because I know there was like the 13 minutes. Yo, they
I,
was wild out there. Honestly, me personally, I would have been pissed off if I'm there trying to work, and as much as I'm trying to work, they want to be doing that stupid shit. The police, like, how you want to sit there, you bombing people, and then it's coming into the buildings, and the workers that's just trying to do their job gotta suffer with the smoke. And mind you, they doing all of this for no apparent reason because they clearly, based off of the videos and the lives, they had peaceful protests. And people
mm-hmm.
was peacefully protesting. Like I understand when stuff get ratchet, but they was just that was nasty what they did. Who shared it? Somebody, I think a few people in Charlotte, like a couple of radio stations shared it. I think Power 98. The video where they was peacefully protesting. The one that I showed earlier.
Now, here's the thing: they'll peacefully protest during the day.
Oh, this is the one. I didn't see it yet. That's why.
Mm-hmm. They'll peacefully protest during the day, but when those kids come out, and they get rowdy. Oh my gosh! And I understand the protests, but do it to where it's safe. Keep it during the
I can't zoom
daytime.
in.
And I know they wonder why the police throw the smoke bombs and the gas and the tear gas and the rubber bullets and shit. I don't know why neither. I guess that's a tactic to get them to go home and not want to be
Yeah,
out here. But doing it's doing nothing. If anything, they want to capture that shit because they want to capture the cops doing that to them. And they're
but
still
you
being
notice.
peaceful, and it's like, well, look what they're doing to us out here. Look what they're doing to us. And they keep on doing it and keep on doing it, but it's just gonna keep on capturing.
But that's the thing. If you actually watch the video that I was showing you, there is a situation where there's a guy in the background. He's explaining, like, he's like, the police are about to block us off, and then they're going to start, you know, bombing us. And then they're going to start, and then they started shooting rubber bullets through the smoke. I'm like, that is just nasty.
Yep, the rubber bullets have smoke in them too, and that's how we ended up getting some smoke at first because we were down at our door, but at the intersection of 4th and South Tryon, that's where the rioters were. So the police, they're walking like a human barricade. They're marching, and they're
Together.
pushing them down, and they keep coming
Yeah.
down past the door. And all of a sudden, we see these little rubber bullets fall down the street, and there's smoke coming from them. And that's the first time I smelled tear gas. It's the first time I smelled that type of smoke.
I
And
don't, is it like pepper spray?
it makes you sneeze, and it
Oh,
makes your eyes
wait.
water.
You posted you had to pepper spray somebody the other day. Ew, what happened?
Oh, that was Saturday night
What
when I was
happened?
trying to go home. Not even coming into work. I was trying to go home.
What happened?
So I walk out of my building. I'm looking for my lift, and it's protesters out, but it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was cars on the street. They were still able to get down past my job. So
Okay.
my lift driver was down at the FedEx. So he was a couple of doors down, but I was waiting for him to get closer so I wouldn't have to go out in the street. So
Right.
I'm just standing out there minding my black ass business. I'm
Uh-huh.
out there just waiting. And this white guy, he comes up and he says, well, he didn't say anything at first because I'm standing there. You know how you can see somebody out your peripheral.
Peripheral. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there, I'm on my phone, and I can feel him. I can see him coming up, and he's in my fucking face. And I look, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me find my girlfriend? I think she's back down that way." And I just said, "Get away from me, sir."
You so mean.
Sir, because I know he didn't want shit, and I know he was on something. And I said, I said, sir, you need to back up. You need to move. You need to get away from me. And he didn't, he just started going off, and he was like, well, that's fucking useful. Sunrise security and blah 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 blah. And I don't work for any Sunrise security or anything like that. So he's calling up the wrong
Mm-mm.
security company name because I'm still in uniform. So
Right.
well, that's fucking useful, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sir, y'all out here on this bullshit. You need to get the fuck on. You need to get the fuck back. He was like,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so he walks off a little bit, but he's still talking shit like he was going to do something. So I
Mm.
put my bag down. So I take my bag off and I set it down on the bench. And I'm looking through my bag. I'm looking for my shit. So I said, sir, you better walk the fuck on. You need to walk the fuck on. Back up. He was like, I don't give a damn who you're gonna call. So he thought he had a punk ass bitch that was just gonna call the police. Oh my god,
Ah,
he's out here harassing me and blah 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 blah. No, no, I was getting my shit. I
tell him
was
you ain't
getting my
Karen.
shit.
You ain't no Karen.
Karen, no, hell no, fuck that, no. So I'm like, sir, you need to back the fuck up. You need to back the fuck up because I'm digging in my bag. And then I get it out and it's in my hand. So I'm like, sir, you need to back the fuck up. And I guess my fighting stance, I'm like, sir, you need to move. You need to fucking move, sir. And he takes steps toward me. So before he can get
Mm-mm.
all the way up in my face, that's when I had to catch him in his right eye.
Mm-mm-mm.
Now his hands are still in his pocket, but I don't know whether he's going to pull anything out. So that's why I sprayed him.
Okay.
So
Honestly, I done pepper sprayed some motherfuckers before. Sometimes you just don't know. I especially like growing up in Brooklyn, like I had to have pepper sprayed a few motherfuckers. I
what?
done pepper sprayed somebody up in the club, like, and it was crazy because they was trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And then it was crazy because luckily, you know, most clouds be having like to where they could, you know, open the door and let some air, you know, come in. So
Yeah,
that was wild when I was younger. But yeah, I done pepper sprayed a few people before. I've pepper sprayed a
girl.
few people before.
And
Sometimes it's like
then
you don't know.
and he
People
must have been on
crazy.
something because he was with a black guy. He was walking with the black guy before all this started. The black guy was already down past the Starbucks,
Mm.
and it was a black lady. Well, she was a young woman. She was walking past, and you could tell she was one of the protesters, but she was just out by herself. And she kept looking back like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" And that's when I
Mm.
sprayed him, and she wasn't saying or doing anything because she knew he was fucking wrong. I mean,
That's the thing. What could she have said or done? Like at the
not
end of the
like
day,
she
it's
could
like they
save
get.
his ass any fucking way. But other than that,
Mm.
girl, I was so I wasn't distraught, but I couldn't believe I had to resort to doing that. Like,
Yeah.
what makes people think they could just walk up on anybody and just walk up on them?
Yeah.
I don't get where that sense of entitlement comes from. You can't just walk up on people and think that shit is gonna be all okie dokie and shit, and think that nobody's not gonna do anything to you. Because
Yeah.
I be
The
sure am.
the
I'd be
thing
waiting
about
for
it
somebody
is
to walk up
that
on me.
you're mean. That like you know how it's like this. It's nothing wrong with being mean because sometimes you have to, especially when you be out there in those streets. But me, honestly, I be feeling like my kindness de-escalated a lot of situations. And the reason why I say that is because it's been some situations where you know how guys are, you know, guys don't like rejection. So the minute you're
No,
not giving them what they want, or if they don't feel like they're gonna get what they want, then that's when they want to be like, oh, you bitch, you know, that's when they always get
that's what
like
made
that.
me like the
Like
pepper spray in
that's
the
when
first
they
place.
so that's when they always get rowdy. So with me, you know, it's crazy because my very first job, the manager, she was like, "Oh, kill him with kindness." So when she said that, I kind of like lived by that. Like people could be mad as fuck, and you could just sit there and be happy, and then they gonna calm down and they gonna kind of match it. And the reason why, like, I can't, I was never crazy with people because I've seen, like, for example, when I was graduated West Mac, I went back to New York. This summer, it was a whole bunch of girls getting raped and murdered, right?
Oh wow,
And it was this girl, yeah, and then there was this girl. She actually, they, you know, raped her, they beat her up, and then they dropped her off. They said that they sent her a message. They was like to tell everybody that the reason why the other girls are getting killed is because they rude and they nasty and they have attitudes. They was like how because she didn't fight them, they just basically, you know, they did still fuck with her, but they actually let her live. But they said that, you know, they sent her back with a message. You know, New York is all types of crazy. So I remember that from when I was in college how you know a lot of the girls, like a lot of the times that happens because girls will have an attitude or girls don't, you know, they're quote unquote not friendly. So my ever
but
since like high school
here's
days.
my thing: if you're cat
What?
calling at me, if you're cat calling at me, or just yelling out at me, hey baby, blah 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 blah, why do I need to respond to that in the first place? I cannot say anything,
You
not
don't have
respond,
to
go
respond, that's
about
the
my
thing.
business, and they still find that rude. Oh, fuck you, bitch, and fuck you, bitch. I wasn't trying to talk to you no way. But you just
They
like,
be lying like hell because the thing is that a lot of people don't,
oh,
they don't know how to deal with rejection. That's the issue. A lot of people don't know how to deal with rejection. And I mean, girl, we
that
gotta touch
only
these
shows
topics. So we've been
me
talking about the protesting, right?
that niggas don't know how to deal, like you said, with rejection. But
They really don't.
also,
It's
but
sad. A lot
but
of them, not to say
also,
all of them, a lot.
you must not get no pussy on the regular because you calling out to somebody trying to get some or trying to talk to somebody, and then every single person that you call out to doesn't want to be bothered with your dusty pill popper dust my ass, and that's what gets you mad. And I know that's what gets them mad. So I like when it gets them madder. But I'll bet you they won't run up them. Unless,
Honestly, like I
unless it's
said,
coming from me.
the
Come
way
on,
how I
make
see
the
it,
fuck happen. Huh?
the way I see it is like I said, growing up in Brooklyn, Then you get that a lot, like guys that try to talk to you, and then when you don't give them no quote unquote play, that's when they try to curse you out. That's when they try, they got all of this, that, and the third to say. But what I learned is that, like with me, if somebody try to talk to me, if they come up to me, like if say for example, the number one rule when you in Brooklyn and you a female is put your headphones on and blast your goddamn music. This way, if somebody is calling out, you're not gonna hear the shit. That's the number one rule, right?
Oh yeah.
If it's a situation where you basically hear them or they get your attention some way, somehow, just be nice. You know what I used to hate? When you like you want to, try to play it off, just give them, just make them think that, oh yeah, you interested. Just make them think it for a second. And then what I used to hate was that when you try to give them the number, you basically you try to get their number. They're like, nah, give me yours. Then you try to give them a fake number, then they want to call. I'd be like, the fuck? That's
Call
the only shit.
everything there. I've seen women say that they felt like they were forced to give their numbers, or they were forced to talk to them because they didn't want any type of backlash. I remember a couple of years ago, this girl, she was leaving somebody's funeral. She was at somebody's funeral, and they were on the curb of the sidewalk. You know how people like disperse from the funeral when they're going to the
Yeah.
cars or whatever. She was at the corner, and some guy walked by and tried to talk to her, and she ignored him, and he shot and killed her on the spot because she.
What?
I remember this story. That's why I bought my fucking pepper spray.
That's crazy. But like I said, but for stuff like that, my whole life, I'll sit there and I'll just be like, I'll be nice. Like, I'll be the one to where if I feel like somebody is crazy, I will just literally just be there to just, get a feel for the type of person that they are. And then they talk, that's the one time where I know how to go into a whole different character. They start telling their life story. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, well, where do you live? Like, sometimes you have to do that with people because motherfuckers is crazy. But then it's the only issue I used to run into for real, was when they would want to try to call you right on the spot. Like, that's when it's like, but then again, that's where apps came into place, right? When you had the little calling apps, you could have a whole fake number. You give them the app number.
I'd be like, look, my phone off, so you can't call me no way. Well, what's this? And then they'll try and ask for your system. My phone is off. What makes you think I can go on any type of social media? My phone is off. Shit.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on the person who's trying to get at you. But other than that, that whole calling me a bitch while you going out because we didn't have any fucking water. You're out there protesting. What
Yeah.
does that matter? And you called a black woman a bitch
A
because we
bitch,
didn't
like,
have
yeah, a lot
water.
of them not really for the cause. A lot of them are really quote unquote for the hype. Like, a lot of people are
Girl,
using
they
the riots
out
and the
in the
protests
middle of the street
for
taking pictures.
views,
Shit. Did you see where that white girl took a picture of her holding a power drill
just to
towards
make it
that
seem like she
business
was
out?
helping. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And she was
saw
like,
that.
thank you, and ran and jumped into her brand new Mercedes. Bitch,
Exactly. A lot of people is doing all of this stuff. We're gonna talk about this, but all of this. So, before we go on to like the hype and stuff, we want to talk about the Ayana Dior. But I do want to touch base on the. So we talked about the riots. George Floyd and the officers, they're saying that they're supposed to all be arrested, right? And then they put it to second degree charge for the person who was on his neck. At this point, the way how I feel is that I wonder if like the protesting, like, do you think it stopped? Or are they still protesting?
oh, I would check, but I'm on my phone, and I don't feel like logging
Girl,
into an iPad. But
honestly,
the guy that I follow, CLT Shooters, he's been out there every night since Friday. So, check his page
you
real
said
quick.
CLT shooters.
Yeah, because they were actually peaceful last night. They were peaceful. They did go to the government center and take down the American flag because they wanted to burn it. But other than that, they
That's the
were
thing.
peaceful.
I don't see anybody. I haven't seen anybody live today. But the only thing about this whole movement is that it cannot be one of those situations where, like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that I would want them to start back protesting, but I really do hope that they actually charge them and give them time. And I hope that they actually consider going back and charging people because it's like whether with Trayvon, they said a lot of the accidents they're classifying them. Well, a lot of the situations, the incidents where people were murdered, they're classifying them as accidents. They're not accidents. If you done shot somebody, that's not an accident.
So that's why we scream Black Lives Matter, because obviously we don't matter to the point where
We
you're not
never
going to
mattered. We didn't
acknowledge
matter when
that
they
we
had
were
us in
murdered,
slavery, girl.
that we were murdered. And when you do charge people, you're going to charge them in the third degree, which is a lesser charge. And instead of charging them in the first degree or second degree, which is, was it premeditated? Can't really tell you the difference between degrees,
Yeah, I
but
think
I
first
know the
degree is
first
when it's
degree is,
premeditated, though.
yeah. So, and all this all lives matter shit, I don't want to hear that shit.
Girl,
I don't want
let me
to
tell
hear
you.
that bullshit, because if all lives mattered, we wouldn't be screaming Black Lives Matter, because it's the Black lives that are being caught on social media, even if not being caught on social media. It's the Black lives that are being beat by police, killed by
And
police,
murdered.
and
And it's been going on for years by police and white people.
police
But
is
let me tell
nothing
you,
but the KKK and dark blue uniform. They're
uniforms.
nothing but race soldiers, the race police. They've been policing the country when slaves would run away and try and get away from the slave masters. That's what they would call the police, the KKK. They're nothing but the fucking police, and that's it. And then your coon ass black police officers that want to be like, oh, it's still good cops out here. No, because if that was the point, then good cops would beat those two teenagers in Atlanta who were sitting in a car doing nothing and tased them and dragged them out of their fucking car.
Oh,
And then
yeah, I
half
seen
of the six
that.
police officers who got arrested, four of them were black. So
That's
I don't
crazy.
know where, I don't know if it's people who are police officers, if it's all races, you feel like you have this sort of power. You get geeked up on whatever the fuck when you put that fucking uniform on, because you just treat your own people, if not worse, than what the other motherfuckers treat them. Why is that? Why do you feel like
Yep.
you need to do that? How come you can't stand, can't come up and say, hey, can you not forcibly have your knee on his neck, and
That's
that
what I'm
little
saying.
fake ass Asian, look, Asian people don't come for me, but that little stinking ass Asian, because I don't know his country of origin, who was standing
If you
by,
say Asian, that's more most accurate.
yeah, was standing by and watching while dude had his knee on his neck. You know that's his brother-in-law, the white cop. That's his brother-in-law.
Wait, the Asian guy is the white cop's brother-in-law.
Yes, he's married to his wife.
Oh, I get it. I did
Married to
see
his
that.
sister.
Now it makes sense why they was pointing that out. And then somebody also, I don't know if it was you and I that was talking, but somebody said that George Floyd and the guy who had his neck knee on his neck, they used to
Knew
work
each other.
together.
They knew each other. They used to work together. And then I found out that George Floyd actually let the guy go because they were bouncing at the same club.
Mm,
So why isn't that being called into question? Well, we don't really know because they just had the preliminary hearings today. But once the case goes on, that's why I think they might have bumped it down to second degree, because all this shit is coming out the woodwork.
that's the thing. So
So this could
we
be
are,
something that they didn't see, that he didn't see George Floyd out there on the street, and because he had his uniform on and he thought that he can get away with it, he was like, well, let me harass and fuck with this nigga and put my knee up.
you saw the whole video though, right? The
Uh,
video from before, you saw the whole video, right? Because
I
there's a
know.
more detailed video which showed that they was actually across the street, and then he was the point where he sat Floyd down, and then he helped him up. And then after that, he walked them across the street, and then they got him in the vehicle. It's not clear, it's not being discussed what happened, but it was a little tussle when he was actually in the car, and in some way, somehow they got out. And then we thought it was just one person on him, but then that picture from the back showed that it was three motherfuckers on him, and then
Yeah,
one
they
watching.
all had their knee on him at some point.
But
That's
the
why
thing
they were
about it is that
called.
if they got him in handcuffs, why do y'all need to do all of that? Like what? Like that's the
Exactly.
part. I don't know, but like I said, we weren't there. You know, black motherfuckers is strong, but even so, like the whole situation is, it just makes no sense. Like, why would you put your fucking knee, sorry, why would you put your knee in somebody's neck? Like, what kind of sense does that even make? Like, that part makes no sense. But anywho, it happened.
I want
And
that question asked when they finally go to trial. I want them to be asked, "Why did you put your knee on his neck? You weren't trained." That's how no police academies in the U.S. are trained to subdue an assailant unless they're grabbing for their gun or anything. But this man was unarmed and he was handcuffed. So why did you
you
have his knee
had your
on his neck?
freaking knee on
Why
his
did you have
neck.
your knee on his neck? Why?
It
I
wasn't
want
much he
people
could
to
have done
answer those
because they
questions.
been had him handcuffed before, you know? All right, so basically, this is what happened. I got bashed. Like, let me clear my name before we even get started. I don't have anything against gays, lesbians, or transgenders. So what happened was, I wake up and I keep seeing this, oh, trans lives matter, transgenders lives matter, LGBTQ people's lives matter, and then there's a video, right? Did you see it?
The transgender person getting
Yeah, the
beat up.
beat up. You saw it?
Yeah.
All right, so basically in the video, the thing is that what I don't like about it is that in the video it shows as if there's just a whole bunch of black men beating her up. Basically it's a man who, well, she was born a man, but she identifies as a she. So going
Hmm.
forward, we're gonna say she, right? So this transgender Ayana, in the video, it just makes it seem like it's a whole bunch of black guys beating her up, and then a lot of people is like, oh, black people, black men beating up, transgenders. And what I didn't like is that they was painting the picture. They painted the picture completely wrong. Because if you actually see the whole video, what really happened in the video is that she got into some type of argument with her friend, a real natural born female. Did you see it?
Hmm.
You saw the
No.
whole thing? She got into an argument so the transgender female got into an argument with the natural born female. What ended up happening was it was a fender bender, apparently. So the black girl, or the real girl, the real woman, right? She's like, bitch, I want my money, da 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 da. So then Ayana, I guess she didn't have the money, so she was hiding in the store. So they had a whole heated argument. So what first started happening, she was fighting the girl. And technically, a transgender female fighting a natural born female, that's not a fair fight. That's not a fair fight. I don't care what
Because
nobody
that's
say
still a
because the
man at the
genetics,
end of the day.
exactly, they're still a man. So what happened is now is that as she's fighting the girl, they're like, yo, that's a nigga. So people jumped in. So as they jumped in on the fight, the part that's uploaded to Instagram is the part where it's a whole bunch of guys hitting her. But mind you, she's technically getting jumped. It wasn't a race. They tried to make it seem like it was a hate crime. They tried to make it seem as if they only did that to her because she was transgender. They started to do fundraisers for this shit.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
think they separated the transgender part because it would, because look, especially if you grew up in the hood or just around black people, we've all seen altercations between two people. If a black man gets into an altercation with a black woman, the first
mm-hmm.
thing most niggas today are gonna do is pull up their phones and scream "World Star." World Star. Oh shit, he's fucking her up. Blah, blah, blah. All these niggas out here fighting. So I think because any other time it would have been some, it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have gone down like that. I think the word out that that was a transgender, and I think it was something charged to where, oh, that's a transgender. Lex, the black
I'm gonna say what
community,
I gotta
the
say
black
because
the
you
black
try to.
community, the black community just doesn't support transgender issues like that,
But this is the
especially
thing, though.
around,
It wasn't a
especially if you're
transgender
around,
issue.
especially if you're around a certain group of niggas. And that transgender female was around a certain group of niggas who didn't give a damn, who felt like they just had to jump on her, him.
But that was the thing. It wasn't even nothing like that. It was nothing like that at all. It was nothing like that at all. This is like if I go outside. So like I said, it's a situation. Say for example, me and you cool, and then I don't know if she borrowed the girl's car, but then say for example, if it's a situation where I borrow your car and then I go out and I get into an accident and I fuck your car up, I don't want to go through my insurance. So I'm like, bitch, give me my money. You fucked my car up. Like, it was a fact because a lot of the people there was like, yeah, she was a fender bender. And then they actually knew each other. The whole neighborhood knew this transgender. So it was definitely not a hate crime. But it's a situation where if you were born a man and you're trying to fight me, I'm a woman. So as the fight started, her homegirl jumped in, and then she had guys that was cool with her that also jumped in. So basically, the transgender ended up getting jumped. And then they're on Instagram like, oh, they tagging blacks, like they took over the Black Lives Matter hashtag. And then like it was like 5 fake cash apps, and all of them was ran by like LGBTQ people. So to me, they took the Black Lives Matter movement and they turned it into something that it wasn't. And then they also tried to paint the picture as if black men just be walking around beating up transgenders for no reason. Like that's not the case. So when I was talking about it, they was like, oh, no matter what she did, she didn't deserve that. I'm like, I didn't say she deserved what happened to her, but that issue was based off of drama, having nothing to do with her being transgender.
Just some
it had nothing to do. And then they was talking about she was jumped by 30 people. It was probably like 15 people. But I want y'all to see. This is like, I want you to see. Hold on. But she was really fighting. I could turn the camera, right? Hold on. And then the people was like, help her, help her. You see she's fighting a girl. You see the girl with the braids? There's 2 girls on her.
Yeah, okay.
So then they tried to get her out. But they was trying to tell her to go home, but then people was pulling her, people was pushing her.
Is she going back in the direction of the store?
She went back in the store because she basically went in the store to hide for protection. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is not even a whole video.
Everybody was.
You gotta watch. The whole video was like 20 minutes, and of the 20-minute video, they fought for like 3 minutes. And then the part that they decided to put on Instagram was the part where you could see a couple of guys hitting her. And then they used that to paint the picture that she got attacked by black men.
Okay.
That's what I didn't like. You get it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was literally getting lit up by them motherfuckers. They was like, oh, they was like, people like you is what's wrong with the world. I'm like, no, people like y'all is what's wrong with the world, because y'all know, to be honest with you, I done grew up around some drag queens. Y'all know how some gay people, especially like males and transgenders and drag queens, they are extra. And that's just the facts. Like, they'll curse somebody out in a heartbeat. They mouth is slick. And then the thing is that people be thinking that, oh yeah, they're supposed to be protected just because they're, you know, of the LGBT community. And I was like, man, I got cursed out by a whole bunch of gay people in the comments. Just know that, because I told them about themselves. Like, I told them about themselves. I was like, y'all not gonna sit here and try to make it seem like my black men be out here beating up transgenders for no reason. And another thing that transgenders do, what I said was this, and I want your opinion on this, but they was like how transgenders don't have to tell people that they're transgender.
Now that's something that should be known.
It should be known. And the thing, that's what I don't like about them, because they have issues. Like, you want to sit there and be born a man, and you know you're born a man, and you walking around looking like a whole female, and you try to attract a straight man. And they were like, straight men be coming after us all the time, honey. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's because y'all probably really, really, really look like fucking females. Like, y'all probably really look like females. And if a guy,
you just can't tell.
Exactly. So my thing is that I'm like, y'all wrong. And then I'm like, we live in a world where you have men that was born as men that want to be women, and you have women that was born as women that want to be men. Why don't they just date each other? Why y'all want to, like, that's the part that makes no sense to me. I'm like, y'all can have your whole community, y'all can raise y'all babies, y'all can have your whole community. But no, you rather be out there trying to trick real straight niggas into thinking that you're a natural born woman. And then when shit escalate, y'all want to say black men is this and black men is that. Like, black men don't like to be lied to. Black men don't like to be tricked. And you know how they had that guy in Charlotte that was posting all those videos? I never got into the group, but he used to be tricking like all these straight guys and proving to people
Marquis,
that,
Marquis
yes.
Rivers.
And I'm like, the thing about that is that like shit like that is fucked up, because
And
even
he
if
had
you are,
decoys. He had trans decoys.
what that mean?
He had trans women to trick niggas to make them think that, you know, they were really female and sleep with them and then expose them on Facebook. So
The thing is that
I
I never seen. I used
understand
to hear about
I
it, but I never
understand
got
he's
into the group.
exposing the down low gay niggas because, you know, he's the one who's actually bagging the down low gay girl. He got somebody that we went to school with. He actually got a couple of people, but one of
I
them
know. I was hearing. That's why I said I never
one of them
saw the
I
group. I
actually
thought it was
know.
him. I didn't know that he used other people. So that's when you said to me, you said decoys. I'm like, I thought it was him doing all the tricking. But they
No,
actually plot that shit, and that shit is fucked up, because at the end of the day, some of these guys are really to the point where if you look as good as a bitch, they probably might make you suck their dick or fuck you in the ass. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna judge nobody. But what I'm saying is that I think that that shit is so wrong. And y'all sitting there, y'all setting up these straight men, y'all quote unquote tempting them, and then at the end of the day, y'all want to say, oh, they was probably already gay to begin with. I'm like, even if they was, that's their business. The same way how y'all don't want to fucking disclose that y'all transgenders, don't be out there trying to expose these men. Like that, like they're the biggest set of hypocrites out there, and I don't like that shit. Like they really took this Black Lives Matter and they tried to make black men look worse in the midst of it. And then
now
I'm like,
I'm not gonna say they're the biggest set of hypocrites because there's hypocrites
they
that
one of
just
the biggest set of hypocrites. As Jamaicans would say, they one of the biggest set of bomba clad hypocrites. Like, you know, tell you, like, bro, they,
girl.
I
Speaking of
love them, but some of them are just, some of
yeah,
them,
because
some of them are wrong.
When I went to the Dominican Republic last year, it was with T.S. Madison, and T.S. Madison is a transgendered female, and like not everybody. I mean, you can tell, like, it's especially on camera that T.S. Madison they own that shit, but she will speak up for her transgenders, brothers and sisters, but she'll
I
also
love when you
speak up on
transgender, but you open
black
about it.
issues. She's open about it, and you know, she's been open about it for years. She actually used to
But
do
it's,
porn. She actually used to
but
do
it's
porn.
people. But when they do porn, like, do they actually still have their dingaling?
Her website was called bigdickbitch.com. Just so you
Oh,
know,
wow.
that
The
big
reason
dick
I was
don't get
asking is because there are some transgenders that actually cut their dick off and they have a whole pussy now. So I don't like stuff like that, because, and the thing is that they really try to live with the fact and try to tell people that they're a woman. Like, you, like, what if you get with a guy, a straight guy, and you're tricking him into thinking this? And what if you want a baby and he can never have a baby because you were not a natural born woman? That's why I feel like that type of stuff needs to be disclosed. And I like people who's okay with their sexuality. They comfortable to be able to admit that they were born a woman, but then they want to be a man, and vice versa. Like, don't sit there and make it seem, it's like, it's so crazy. Because I'd be like, yo, I'm fat, right? But I identify as a skinny person. Can I tell motherfuckers, can motherfuckers stop calling me skinny? Because I'm
yeah,
fat, but I
yeah, but
identify
we
as
can't
a
but
skinny person.
we can't walk into Club Onyx with our G strings and our bikinis on and
That's,
slide down the road like the skinny girls can.
and that's
But
the thing. And it's
there's
crazy
other
because,
people out there that can switch
bro,
genders.
they
So
could
you
switch their whole gender on an
how you
ID.
camouflage it. So it's all how you camouflage it. So if we did go out on stage, it would just have to be completely dark and you just have to shine the light on my face.
Only. They can't see nothing else. And they be like, you know, this is Dream. She one of the skinniest motherfuckers out here. Like, how the That's the funny part, because when I started realizing, like, I didn't know, but I work in health and insurance. But this girl called in and she was like, my husband changed his name legally and his gender. So I needed to go into her account and I had to update her husband's name from like Keisha to Keith. That's just an example. I don't remember the name. From Keisha to Keith, and I had to change the gender from female to male. Literally, they said that you can go change your whole gender. And I'm like, bro, your chromosomes, which is in your DNA, makes up whether or not you're male or female. So they're putting opposite genders on your ID, but technically by DNA, your gender hasn't changed. Because your chromosomes would always determine your X and Y or your XX. Are you a male or are you
It
a
all
female?
depends on what you identify as.
Yeah, but like I said, if you identify as that, just I think that people need to be more open about having the conversations, because way too many of these transgenders, they literally sit there and they try to make it seem like they're natural born woman, and they're not, and that is not okay. It is okay to be born a man and then to be able to identify or say you identify as a female. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you feel like you don't have to tell these men that you were born a man, then there's something wrong with you. You're sick, because that means that you'd rather lie to people and trick them before you be open and transparent. So that's what I got bashed about. Them motherfuckers was cursing me out. They probably still leaving comments. I
But
had like,
when they make you turn your comments off, just put that.
honestly, I don't care. I was taking my time and I was responding. I'm like, yeah, is this girl literally said, well, this man or woman said, so what if they don't want to disclose that they're transgender? I don't walk around saying, hi, I'm Tom and I'm a transgender. Like, nobody is telling you to do that. But when y'all start talking to people, especially people that's straight, you need to let them know before you continue. I was born as this way. At least that's my opinion.
What's the next story?
Woo!
Ooh, girl, come on. Come on.
I'm choking on my spit. All right, so we talked about that now. All right, celebrity birthdays. You want to cover that? We got Angela Jolie, which we all know Angela Jolie.
Angelina
Her birthday's.
Jolie. Angelina Jolie.
Did I say it wrong? No,
Yeah,
Angelina
her name is
Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, but I call her Angelina Jolie.
Why? What you got about
Cause,
against
huh?
Angelina? What you got against
Cause
her?
she fucked with Jennifer Aniston's husband. You know, she was married to Brad Pitt for some years, and they met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and that's how the affair started.
Wait,
So
the one who was actually was he in the movie with her?
yeah, yeah,
So the
Brad
one
Pitt,
because I know she played Mrs. Smith.
yeah,
So they basically did Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then they was behind the scenes fucking like Mr. and Mrs. Smith for real.
yeah, yeah.
Woo!
So Pitt filed for divorce from Jennifer Aniston and ended up marrying Angelina Jolie, and then they just got divorced a couple years ago.
That's crazy.
And then in the midst of their marriage, they adopted all these little nigga kids from Africa.
You hilarious. That's why I was like, when I said Angelina Jolie, I'm like, isn't that the one who actually be adopting up the little brown chocolate
Girl,
babies? But
these white folks be adopting these kids from Africa, giving them these little fucked up names: Essex, Maddox, Zilliprank, Xanax, and Apple, and Wingspan, and
I'm
girl, these
done.
fucking names. Girl, speaking of
That's the crazy
adopting,
part.
speaking
What
of
about
adopting,
adopting?
did you hear about the white woman? She's a YouTuber who
No.
adopted the little Asian baby who is autistic a couple of years ago. Then this bitch, huh?
Mommy,
No, not you.
I'm prepping her buns.
She adopted the Asian kid. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Give me a minute. Okay, okay.
Goddamn.
My 6-year-old, she will find anything to tell me. Like anything. Okay, so she adopted the Asian kid, and what happened?
So she puts a video out a couple of weeks ago saying we're rehoming our kid. Well, we're rehoming the kid that we adopted because, shit just ain't working out.
Nah, honestly, it be like that sometimes. I got a cousin, my mom's cousin, actually. She basically, she has boys, but she tried to adopt this little girl because she never had a daughter. Like, she has two boys that she gave birth to, and then she had a son that she adopted, right? And then she
Hmm.
tried to adopt a girl, but the girl was like a teenager. Mind you, she grew up in the system. So she wanted to adopt a girl because she wanted to show, this girl some love. She said that she almost killed the girl. They got into a fist fight because the
Oh,
girl
shit.
called her a B word. And mind you, she had to send her back. Like, she had to get rid of her. Because she was like, but it is what it is. But the thing is that
How
these
long
kids that's in the
ago?
system,
How long ago was that? What
see,
was
this
that?
was recent. This was in the last couple of years. But the thing is that, remember, the girl was grown. I think it's harder when you're getting like a teenage child compared to when you get like a baby.
Yeah. Well, this child was a baby, but he was autistic, and the adoption agency, because they were working in between China and the U.S. The
Hmm.
adoption agency, and she even mentioned that they tried to deter her from adopting because his issues are severe and you were going to have a time with this particular child. And she posted, because here's what she did, she blogged the whole adoption process. So the
And she
video
wasn't even ready.
and the video from years back, she stated, we know that that is our child and nothing can deter us from taking our baby home and that's their baby and all this shit. Okay, whatever. Because okay, I don't think you get the gist that a lot of YouTubers do shit for likes and views.
They do. A lot of them do. A lot of them do.
A lot of them have babies. A lot of them get fake married. Girl, they don't even own their own homes. So the couple of YouTubers that I watched, I've seen one in particular move maybe like every 6 months. And then the past videos that she put up, she'll post like, oh, I bought a new house, empty house. I bought $1 million house, empty house tour. When really they're renting, and then they'll want to show you their brand new house that they just rented. You didn't buy that house. Stop using it as clickbait because they're trying to put on the facade that YouTubers get paid a certain amount of money, which they do,
They
but
do.
your credit is still fucked up. If you didn't buy this $1 million house, don't say that you bought it. You just
Like, you
rented
ain't
it.
have $1 million cash to buy it. You
Yeah,
didn't have a million
no,
dollars cash, and then even when they take out the loans, it's like a lot
no,
of them can't
no.
keep up. It's a lot of people. I can't honestly. A lot of this country is like financially unstable. So even like when they do have a lot of money, especially people who make a lot of money, a lot of the times people got to understand that all that money that they make is not always profit. Because a lot of the times they had to invest into their craft so much to make that money to where they still paying themselves back 3 and 4 years down the line because they got so much debt. You know,
But
so that's something to think
yes.
about.
But this lady, back to this lady. So she puts out a video a couple of weeks ago saying that she's rehoming the child. So she says that she's rehoming the child, and then everybody, she receives a whole bunch of backlash. White woman, you adopt kids from other countries, and then when to give them back or give them up for adoption or do whatever with them, when really the baby was just a photo op, and you put all his fucking business out there. He's still a child. He's still a baby. So
Right.
here's the thing. After she puts out that rehoming video, there for some reason the sheriff of the city she lives in gets involved a couple of days ago
Mm.
because the child is missing. He's not a ward of the state. The state does not have him. Usually, when you bring home or give up your rights for a child, you turn them over to the state.
So
DSS,
the child is gone right now.
huh?
You said the child is gone?
The child is missing.
That's crazy.
DSS,
That's
Child and
crazy.
Family Services, group homes, adoption agencies in the area do not have this child. And then the sheriff
So
went to
where did
check
she
it
put the
out.
kid? What is she saying?
The sheriff's office is not saying, but they are saying that the child is missing and she doesn't have the child. She did not travel back to China, obviously because of Corona, to get the child back. So where is the boy? His name is
That's the
Huxley.
crazy part.
His
It's
name is
sad
Huxley.
because you have people that's out there that do weird stuff with their own kids. So who's to be
Yeah,
telling what somebody did with an adopted child? And the thing is that a lot of people, especially if you don't have your own natural born children, a lot of people will never love a child the way how you would love your natural own born child, and
that's
that's
what
just
a
a
lot of
fact.
people were saying. A lot of people were commenting about her videos. Like, bitch, you gave birth to your own child and you're not giving your own child up. How come you want to give this one up so quickly? Because his
That's what
issues
I'm
are so
saying.
big and you can't handle it. It's people out there with less resources who make it work with their autistic kids.
Yes, and they kids be disabled until they grown and they take care of their kid the whole way through. That's what I don't like. Like that's why some people come through with they bullshit ass fake ass love. Like they'll sit there and they say they love a child, but you don't really love a child. And the fact is that you'll probably never love a child, someone else's child, the way you love your own natural born child. It's rare for people to have that type of love for other
That's
people's kids.
that's why I'm a little iffy about people if they're a stepmom or a stepdad. You can love a child, you can love
Yeah,
a child like your own, but that child is not your own. That's why you say like your own.
exactly.
I would love my child because that's my child, but I love this child like it was my own, even though it's not. So it's a certain way that I feel about this particular child, but it's not the same way that I feel about my own. That's why they say
Right.
my own. So yeah,
Yep. Like I said,
hopefully,
as a mom, that bothers me because, I have my two kids, but they're so different. Like with my oldest one, she's mad chill, she's mad laid back. The younger one, she's whiny, she's clingy, and a lot of people don't even like. When I say a lot of people, like even like for example, she cries a lot too. Even though she's 6, she cries for every little thing. She's mad sensitive, and a lot of people like will take like my say for example my sisters, they'll want to come take my oldest one, but they don't want to deal with the younger one, and I don't like that because at the end of the day as her mom I have to deal with both of them 24/7. I don't get to pick and choose who's coming to the store. I mean 9 out of 10 times I take both of them or I leave them both. I don't, because at the end of the day they're both my biological children and I have to love them the same, both equally. But that lady need to find that baby. Find
yeah,
that
hopefully
baby.
they'll find Huxley and get him back. Well, not back to her,
Get
but
him not to her, to somebody
him.
that's going to really love him, because you do
Yeah.
have some people out there that's going to love on that boy, especially them people who who's pro autism. They have like
Mhm.
whole organizations that could really, that can help them. But she wasn't ready. That's what that was. She wasn't ready. Like if
First
people
of
don't
all, she was
understand the
great. Second of all, she was doing that shit to grow her channel because when she came out with that adoption story saying that she was gonna adopt, she went from 200,000 subscribers to 1 million subscribers. So now she has over 1 million subscribers.
right, a lot of the stuff be for hype.
Yes.
For hype. My
So
husband is on here. He could tell you. Oh, let's talk about Carol Baskin before we hop off of
oh
this.
hey, I had the comments move down to the side. Hi, hi, hey, what's going on?
But what you call it? Oh yeah, this the last
Carol
topic we're gonna
fucking
cover.
Baskin.
Carol
Carol
fucking
fucking
Baskin, bro.
Baskin. I got a judgment against me from some bitch down in Florida. I'm 56. I'm broke as shit. What's
Bro.
up? You know what? After we get off of this, I'm gonna go back and watch that shit because I've been watching Tiger
The,
King
the the Tiger King, right? I was I started watching it again because I finally seen the girl with the note with the the messed up arm, because the tiger bit her arm off, that's sitting there vouching for goddamn Joe Exotic. That they crazy for real.
Girl,
But Carol fucking Baskin, that whore. Nah,
that
nah, let
whore.
me be for real though. Because Joe Exotic be ready to bash the lady. But Carol Baskin, she was awarded his due. He gonna
Because
hate
of the
that.
judgment from years ago, girl, it even got to the point where before he went to prison, she even took his mama's house.
What? But how she got the house though? Is it that she was buying him out?
She wasn't buying him out, it's the assets. Joe Exotic tricked his mom into signing her house over to him.
Okay.
So when Carol Baskin won the judgment, it's everything that's in Joe Exotic's name. or
That's crazy.
wasn't his name. So what he started doing was he started doing illegal transfers and
And
putting
put it
stuff
in
in
other
other
people's
people's
name.
names.
But how was she getting his stuff? Was she suing him or something?
She sued him because he did a copyright of Big Cat
Mm,
Rescue, Big Cat Rescue, and he called his shit Big Cat Rescue Entertainment, and then used the
that's
same logo.
crazy.
And that's how she
That's
was
what he
awarded
get.
the $1 million judgment.
Now it makes sense. That's what he get though, because you know when it comes to when you have your shit copyrighted and all of that, you could dead ass take somebody to court and you could dead ass win. So that's like, yo, I know he is pissed. He's in jail. She got his zoo. She got the mama house.
But yes, yeah, his mama ended up homeless, and they ended up having going onto his website with a GoFundMe
That's
saying, "Please
crazy.
help us." And his mom was elderly. I don't know if she passed away yet, but his mom was elderly at that time. So, girl, and the sheriff of the city she lives in down in Florida, he did confirm that through investigation that the signature on her husband's will is forged. So that came out like a couple of days ago around the
So
same
is
time.
she going? Damn. So is she going to be going to jail now or to
They didn't
trial?
say. They just say that, hey, we know that the signature is forged. But then again, what the fuck can they do about it?
They could probably, I don't know, but you know, 𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐳 probably gonna do a whole lot full investigation.
How can you do an investigation? He in prison.
He in prison, but I'm sure he's in there like Carol fucking Baskin doing his research. I don't know, but that's messed up though. But I mean, like I said,
Mhm.
she CYA covered your ass. She did that the whole way through, and that's the only reason why everything is working out in her favor. She probably did feed her husband to the tigers, come to think of it.
I know she did. I know she fucking did. But here's the thing. God sees all and he knows all. You may think you got away with it in this life, but you gonna have to answer. You gonna have to reckon for everything you've done. White people, not just Carol, white people.
Right.
So
For
yeah.
real, for real. Anyways, that was all the topics for the night. I'm about to go tend to these children, call my
Good, yeah,
husband, and then I'm off to
yes,
bed until
yes.
next Thursday. Peaches and dream.
How long we been on here?
We've been on here like an hour at least.
Oh wow.
Like an
Yeah,
hour
but I'm
at
gonna go
least.
back to sleep because I had a dream that me and my nephews was looting the fucking Walmart. So I'm
You
see
all
how
got some good shit?
that. We did, but at the end of the dream, Darian didn't want to get inside the car because he was just out in the middle of the fucking parking lot, pop locking and shit. It was a weird ass fucking dream. I'm telling you.
Just yeah, with your weird ass goddamn nephews. Like that sounds like some shit they would be out there doing in real life too. Anyways, thank you
We'll
guys so
see
much
y'all
for
next week,
tuning
and this will
in.
be uploaded onto the YouTube. Be blessed.
She's Peaches and I'm Dream. Bye, y'all.
You sis.